Jernnifer Lopez's first husband is speaking out against the singer and claiming J-Lo was involved in Diddy's freak-off parties. Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Diddygate coverage. I'm Andy Signore with an update regarding J-Lo and her involvement with Diddy. What do we know? I wish J-Lo herself would come out and say what she knows, and she's just not. And that just makes her a little bit more guilty in my eyes. How can you not even just condone the Cassie video, J-Lo? It makes no sense. Well, now her first husband, Ohani Noah, is out there speaking up about the singer, blaming Diddy for the divorce. We're going to get to more of his opinions regarding the freak-offs and some Diddy information. But he explains during the fallout of their marriage, he alleges that part of the divorce was Diddy's fault. Lopez had begun working closely with Combs in New York on her debut album On the 6th. Meanwhile, Noah was in LA working at Lopez's Pasadena restaurant, Madres. There in that distance and that separation was where the deception started, he stated. Shortly after the divorce, Combs and Lopez stepped out as a couple in 1999. They dated for 2 years before splitting in 2001. But here was happier times with Ohani and J-Lo. This is they were first husband from 97 to 98. Noah also alleged that Lopez had blocked him from landing TV gigs. I would ask Jernnifer, what did I do to you that you have taken me so to court? You have accused me, you have lied, you have created false things about me, and you have called several companies to throw me out and different television networks not giving me work, he recounted. Lopez's representations never spoke up. But yeah, what's going on? What is up with this relationship? Now, I wasn't there, I don't know. But Ohani's going out even further. In a new post he put out in social media, on Instagram, this was actually a couple weeks ago, but more and more claims have been coming up. I wanted to sort of connect them all together for you. But he responded, not only saying that he was part of the freak-off parties, but let's just read what he wrote. So here he was on Instagram. Now, you can read it in Spanish if you want there. I'm going to read it in English here. I'm not on the list. To those people and media outlets asking if I ever went or participated in that piece of Diddy's freak-off parties, no and no, never. But my ex-wife, Jernnifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, did ask her. Oh, and ask her about the X tapes and the 734 toys and the baby oil. Hashtag Diddy list, hashtag Diddy freak-off list, hashtag I'm not on the list. Good for you, honey. And here he did provide a list. Now, I don't know. I can't verify that this list is accurate. I mean, these are people that have been seen with him or I guess invited to parties. It doesn't mean they're all there doing the criminal behavior. To be fair, I cover myself legally. But sure enough, on this list, he's providing Jernnifer Lopez. He's spotlighted. Now, I'd love to have you on, Ohani. Please, I've actually reached out. I hope we can get him on the show. I'd love to hear from him directly and get his thoughts on this. Not saying I don't believe it. I want to hear from him directly so we can get a little better sense of things. And the reality check is, why isn't J-Lo speaking? Why is J-Lo's ex doing the right thing here and making it very clear, I'm not involved. I'm not afraid to admit that. Because it does look like J-Lo doesn't want to say anything, because if she says something, she might be caught lying, just like Diddy was. That's the problem here, right? So many of these celebrities, I think, are afraid of saying, I had nothing to do with this, because they probably did have something to do with it. Now, how much they had to do with it, we'll find out. But what's interesting is Diddy kept meticulous records of his parties and has enough dirt to hang half of Hollywood. Now, this is a story, and it's been brewing, and I see a lot of people jumping on this, the fact that, well, Diddy now sort of tell on others. We're going to talk about that later in the video, as well as probably more in depth on our live and also on our Uncensored, which is for members. If you're not a member yet, consider joining. We can go there every Friday at noon. Members can join either from Patreon or on YouTube, and you get to watch us Uncensored. We really get to share more of our thoughts. I'd love to see you guys there. Hopefully we'll see you there this Friday. But Diddy has had zero support from exes, including J-Lo, Cameron Diaz, who's not one of his exes. We'll talk about her in a second. They're all in major panic that he'll drag them down by spilling sordid secrets about them if he winds up wearing a number, source exclusively tells In Touch. It's not like they've been going around trashing him, but but everyone's been giving him a seriously wild berth. He's radioactive at this point. Even if he hasn't been found guilty, his name is mud, and it would be social suicide to have anything to do with him, the source says. That's absolutely true. Can't deny that. Now, he's denied it. He remains in federal custody, though, which begins in May. We'll see if that actually happens. Prosecutors are preparing their case. Diddy's waiting for his team of lawyers to represent dozens of plaintiffs to file as many as 120. Tony Busby, as we report on, he's been living, Combs has been living large, rubbing elbows with all of the A-listers during these parties. Source notes, no one is risking their reputation coming to Diddy's defense. Despite the chart-topping musicians expecting his former friends to have his back, no one's doing it. But here's what I will say. J-Lo sure looks like you got his back. Sure looks like you're not going to go out there and say something mean. Why? If was bad to you and now you're seeing he might have been bad to others, your silence isn't helping. And you don't have to go out there and rat out and share all the secrets, but a statement from you specifically responding to the Cassie tape and how horrified you were to watch that would go volumes. But the fact that you aren't tells me PR-wise, you don't feel comfortable going out there saying stuff because you got your own skeletons in that closet. And that's just my theory. Again, I'm not confirming that. That's my theory here based on her silence. Tell me if I'm wrong, Chad. I want to hear what your thoughts are. He's still in total denial and actually expecting all his high-profile friends and even his exes like J-Lo and Cameron to stand up for him, the insider says. He can't wrap his head around the fact that everyone just dropped him and wants no part of his sordid scandal. I believe that. He's an absolute hypocrite, narcissist. He just wants everyone, he wants that control is what he's sort of kept on everybody. And that's what's crazy here. There's legitimate fear now among these people, a huge swath of people in Hollywood, J-Lo, Cameron included, that he could seriously embarrass them if he decides to talk about what they shared with him back in the day, which was pretty intimate. But their hands are tied. It's not like they can reach out to him. Showing any kind of support for him is out of the question. So all they can do is hope and pray that he keeps his mouth shut. Of course, all the rumors that he's kept meticulous records and even video recordings of all the crazy stuff that went on at his big parties over the years is only adding to everyone's panic. The word is he's got enough dirt to hang half of Hollywood. Now, one quick correction here. Diddy misses former fling. Cameron Diaz thinks she's the sexiest girl in the world. This was sort of his feeling. He never really had a relationship that I can see. He was bummed he never got a relationship with Cameron Diaz because she's gorgeous. I'm sure everybody wanted a relationship with Cameron Diaz. But he's declared her the sexiest girl in the world, and that's sort of somebody he considers himself to be friendly with. But full disclosure, it doesn't seem like they actually had much of a relationship ever, just a relationship he wanted. So what do you think of all this? What do you think? Do you think that's why J-Lo is scared? And are you impressed that her ex is not scared, saying, bring it? What are you talking about? Pushing this? Not a lot of people are out there actually willing to push. J-Lo's on the freak off list, but this guy's like, bring it. And I don't see any cease and desist. I don't see the thing removed. It's been up for about a week. This thing's been up for a week and it's still there. So usually, the Jay-Z's, Beyonce's, they come at you pretty hard with their high-powered lawyers if they're like, take that down, that's false. Well, Hannah's keeping it up. And man, I'd love to speak to you, Hannah. If you're watching this, you're seeing it, we got your back on this. I want to hear from you. Please hit us up. I've reached you out on Instagram. We're reaching out to a lot of other people. Some more are coming. You're not going to miss them. In fact, make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for alerts so you get notified, and smash that like button. We got a lot more to report on this and other stories to start getting into as well. So leave your comments, make your news story suggestions down below as well, and stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.